Bitcoin has seen another breakdown from yesterday's video, and right now it is weekend, so we're creating a new CME futures gap. Bitcoin is still trading in a massive downtrend, while in fact potentially we are creating an ever so slight higher low here on that 4-hourly time frame. So potentially Bitcoin is starting to create a new consolidation phase right here. So I will be talking about this, the massive opportunity we've currently got in the market, and many more important charts we need to discuss on today's update video. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap all that like button back above 1,000 likes. That will be absolutely incredible. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. And yes, we are right now creating a CME futures gap with the CME close price sitting somewhere around 63.8k. And like we know from history, more than 97% of all this Bitcoin CME future gaps, more than 97% of all the Bitcoin CME future gaps tend to get filled up before the Tuesday after creation of the CME futures gap. So make sure to expect that while we are indeed trading in the weekends and while the CME close price was around 63,700, we are most likely going to be hovering around this price, not necessarily over the course of the weekend, but most certainly at the end of the weekend. So that is what I'm currently expecting is going to be happening with Bitcoin. And honestly, if we're right now looking at the 1 hour time frame, yesterday I exactly discussed this symmetrical triangle here on the channel, and we clearly saw that we indeed had a breakdown of this pattern. And after we broke down of the upward sloping support line, Bitcoin dropped over 5% towards the downside, which was indeed quite a significant drop towards the downside. But like you know, if you've been following the channel, my price target from this breakdown is sitting somewhere around $60,000. And yes, I will be also starting to open up massive Bitcoin long positions if Bitcoin is going to be starting to hit $60,000, like you can see right here on these green lines right here. And if I quickly remove my face cam, you can see that on the bottom left side of your screen that I've already set up more than $600,000 in buy orders, around $60,000 and around $59,000. So for me, I don't care whether Bitcoin is going to be bouncing back towards the upside already from this point. If I potentially miss out on that entry on the lower side, no, because all I'm trying to do here is trade with the least amount of risk. And right now, potentially, Bitcoin is indeed going to create a new consolidation phase. It is potentially going to be hovering around in this symmetrical triangle right here. And we're expecting that a new breakout is going to be happening in the upcoming week here. Usually over the course of the weekend, there's not a lot of price action, but of course, we are currently still trading in a downward sloping trend for Bitcoin. And as long as we're not breaking the super trend on Bitcoin, I don't really believe that we should be starting to flip bullish right now on Bitcoin. But once we do clearly break above the super trend, then I potentially could start to say that we are indeed seeing a slight little trend reversal on Bitcoin. But for the current moment of time, things are still looking quite bearish for Bitcoin, and we're still in fact trading in a downward sloping trend with potentially first time around the first higher low here on the 4-hourly time frame on Bitcoin. But just like we created here a slightly higher low, we straight away got a solid rejection and moved even lower. So I am not necessarily expecting this 100% as a higher low, and that is why I made it this dotted line, because I personally don't really believe that this is going to be such a strong support level for Bitcoin. But of course, as we are going to be seeing a strong bounce towards the upside from this point, then I could definitely start to say that this is a very important support line to be looking at. But for now on, I'm taking this support line with a grain of salt. A thing that I want to be pointing out, and a reason why I am currently opening up this position, because yesterday I still got a lot of questions from a lot of people. I explained my reasons why I'm opening up this trade clearly in depth. So what I will be doing is that I will be opening up my Bitcoin long position in this orange box here on the lower side. And this orange box is basically exactly below the liquidity of Bitcoin. And I think what is most likely going to be happening is that this lower side of liquidity is going to get taken out of the market. And due to that, a lot of long positions are going to get liquidated. And after that, we are going to be seeing the bounce towards the upside. That is what I am currently expecting. And like I said many times before, I am a low risk profile trader. And if I right now miss out on this bottom, and let's say Bitcoin is already going to be bouncing from this point, it is going to be okay for me. I missed my trade, but of course I am already well positioned on my spot backs, so I'm still going to be benefiting from the higher prices on Bitcoin in general. But if Bitcoin were to be coming lower and were to be heading that $60,000 to $58,000, it would give me an opportunity to, of course, benefit from the lower prices. And then I think that the risk is so low for me to open up that Bitcoin long position. So that is exactly what I will be doing. And I do believe that right now in this stage in the market, the opportunity to actually open up a long position is becoming bigger and bigger, and the chance that Bitcoin is actually going to be seeing a very strong bounce is also increasing. And why? Let me quickly explain this. Because currently, the Bitcoin funding rate is significantly decreasing. And like we can see from the past Bitcoin bull market cycle, every single time we started to see that in the rally towards the upside, the funding rates were spiking. But every single time, once we saw the funding rates come back to neutral, we basically saw a gigantic opportunity to actually open up long positions. Every circle that I've drawn was the point of time in the market where the funding rates were either negative or close to neutral, and that was happening in a massive uptrend where, first of all, funding rates were spiking. So you can clearly see there are many opportunities to actually long Bitcoin, and almost every single time this opportunity occurs once the funding rates is either neutral to negative. And currently, the funding rates are about as neutral as it gets, because if we're currently looking at the price action of Bitcoin, we can see that indeed funding rates have been spiking significantly towards the upside, and right now they are cooling down significantly. And yes, once it potentially is going to come down a little bit lower, maybe Bitcoin drops a little bit ever so slightly lower, then funding rates potentially could drop negative again, and that would also potentially start to mark one of the biggest opportunities to actually open up a long position on Bitcoin. So very excited, in my opinion, where we're currently trading in. But of course, like we know, yesterday we got once again another negative day on the spot Bitcoin ETF. And actually, for the first time ever, we've seen 5 consecutive days of negative outflow on the spot Bitcoin ETF. I mean, yesterday also we had the lowest inflow day on the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF, which is quite insane in my opinion. But of course, that is just a thing that just happens. I mean, there's definitely a different interest from these institutions in the last week here. There's a clear shift of demand. Maybe it's because the prices are sitting around all-time highs, or maybe it's because the Bitcoin halving is almost there, or maybe it's because of the fact that they have accumulated already enough. But clearly we can see a clear slowdown from the spot Bitcoin ETF, and I believe that once Bitcoin, of course, is going to be bottoming, and once it starts to go exponential again, we're most likely going to see this FOMO returning towards the market. But maybe first we're going to see an ever so slightly fake out. So yeah, if you want to be joining me with this trade, or if you want to be trading yourself, Bybit is the exchange with the most listed pairs here. So if you want to be trading any altcoins or Bitcoin, make sure to go to Bybit in the link description of today's video, where you can also right now claim a deposit bonus worth up to $30,000. And if you directly go towards the website, it's only $400. So it's a win-win situation. If you're interested in trading, sign up an account using the link below to get an insane deposit bonus on Bybit right now. And yes, guys, I explained from beginning to end on how I'm going to be trading Bitcoin. Make sure to check my video from yesterday, where I'm also explaining a little bit more in depth about what I'm exactly doing with my trade. But like you can see, I've currently set up my orders here. I'm going to be opening up this massive trade here. I've got 3 orders set up here. I've got an order set up on $60,000, $59,000, and after this video, I will also deposit some more funds to even set up an order around $58,000, and that way I'm going to be laddering in towards my Bitcoin long position, and that way I believe I will be having the least amount of risk with the maximum amount of opportunity. And yes, I will be once again clarifying this. I don't believe that I'm 100% sure that I'm going to get entered, because I do believe that potentially Bitcoin could already start to reverse from off this point, but I believe that still for my trading strategy to open up a Bitcoin long position right now is a little bit too high of a risk, because I have got a big name to protect here. Because yes, my last 6 trades I took on this channel were all massively profitable, over 100%, and I am not going to be losing out here, and that is why I'm only going to take the least amount of risk trades with the highest probability of win, and that way I'm going to be making the most amount of money in the upcoming Bitcoin bull run, with of course minimizing my losses. And of course, I still do believe that a 20% correction could be in play for Bitcoin. However, we do know that in the last time once Bitcoin was trading around its all-time high, we also saw only a 17% correction before Bitcoin was heading up higher and before we broke above the all-time high, and it took an approximately 4 weeks in a row of consolidation. So something similar could be happening this time around. If we are currently only, what is it, like 1 or 2 weeks out before we're then going to be crushing above the all-time high, and also where we're only 4 weeks out for is of course the Bitcoin halving. It's going to be happening somewhere in the midpoint of April, and yeah, usually once the Bitcoin halving happens, after that, we are going most exponential. So make sure to prepare for that. I don't believe that there's any reason to worry about the Bitcoin bull market and the health and the strength of the bull market. I think we're still looking quite good, and still that we are quite early in this next big hype phase. And the longer we're going to consolidate around this region above 60,000 US dollars, the higher and the more significant the pump is going to be, just like it was in 2020. So this was it for me in today's update video. I truly hope you did learn something from it. If you did so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.